I know some of y'all are tired of hearing about this family. Trust me when I tell you, I'm just as tired of having to talk about them. But it seems to me that they will not get themselves out of the news long enough for us to not even remember them because they keep popping up like bad ragweed. So this is a picture of Botham Jean's entire family. From left to right is his dad, his brother, his mother, and his sister. Now, the last time we talked about them, it basically came out that the Dallas Police Department was not going to be able to be sued in a civil suit against the family. And we all know that his brother, Brant John, who was the second from the left next to the dad and next to the mother, he took that little BS award or reward, whatever you want to call it, from the police department. And he's like, look, that's going to be your payment right there. Little did he know, or little did they know. So now the family is trying to sue the apartment complex in which Botham Jean and Amber Geiger resided in. I said they are only out for that duffel bag. This family has literally now shown their hand. They only want the money. That's all it is. They only want the money. They didn't want justice for their loved one who was murdered in his apartment. They just want the money. Because, see, they know that they're not going to get much money or anything out of Amber Geiger, who, as far as I know, is the only one that they can get money out of if they go forward with that lawsuit. But it's not going to be much. Their bread and butter, what they thought was going to be, was going to come out of that big civil suit that was going to come from the police department in the city of Dallas. But since that's not happening, they got to go to other extremes, and now they're going to try to sue the apartment complex. What does the apartment complex have to do with this? They weren't the ones on trial. See, they lost their chance to actually really make an example out of Amber Geiger, but they didn't. They completely dropped the ball, and I mean really dropped it, and hard. But I'm going to go ahead and read this article coming from DallasNews.com. It says, Botham Jean's family plans lawsuit against apartment complex where Amber Geiger shot him. Attorney says confusing layout, faulty door mechanism created a deadly situation at the Southside Flats. If that was the case, there would have been many more cases like that happening before Botham Jean got killed. And when they did all the examinations for the apartment complex, which I'm sure they talked about in the case, there was nothing that came up from any side saying that there was something wrong with the door. The something wrong was the fact that Amber Geiger broke into his apartment. That's all that was. But see, they're trying to create a case so they can get money. This family is only out for themselves. They could give a damn or care less about their loved one who was killed. That's why we don't care about them anymore. But I just had to bring this to you to let you know what type of people they are. Like, at the root of it, this is who they are. And they're supposed to be so-called Christians. That's why I cannot take that religion seriously. Because you have the black Christians who are greedy as fuck. And then you have the palm color Christians who are racist as fuck. Like, there's no middle ground here. The family of Botham Jean plans to file a separate lawsuit against Southside Flats, the apartment complex where former Dallas police officer Amber Geiger fatally shot him, a family attorney said. Attorney Sleaze Merritt said Saturday that a confusing layout of the upper floors coupled with the faulty door mechanism created circumstances that led to John's death in September 2018. Mind you, none of this came up in the case. That's why I know this isn't going nowhere. And as for Sleaze Merritt, the only reason he's doing this is because he needs the money. He lost his bag when they lost that case against the city of Dallas. If they had won that case or got that civil suit from the city of Dallas, the family would have went away. But now they're going to be coming on here until they get paid. You know who they remind me of? They remind me of Ron Goldman's family. Notice that every time something happens with OJ, here comes Ron Goldman's family popping up, the daughter, his sister, and his dad popping up doing interviews like crazy just so they can get a bag. But the minute that OJ goes in and kind of distances himself, they fade into obscurity as well. Let OJ pop up in the news again for some BS, and out will come Ron Goldman's family. John, age 26, was shot inside his own apartment by Geiger, who said she entered his home by mistake, believing it could be hers. Geiger was convicted of murder on October 1st and is serving a 10-year sentence, allegedly. An employee at a Southside Flash referred questions to the apartment's complex corporate owner, Chicago-based Wardenton Residential, and his regional manager. The company representatives have not responded to email and phone requests for comment Saturday evening. During Geiger's trial, an investigator testified that John's door was defective. It wouldn't shut all the way, Merritt said. If it had shut all the way, Amber Geiger wouldn't have been able to get in. The base plates and lock plates didn't line up on some of the doors John's included, Merritt said. The lock would snag and not connect in response to certain types of weather, he said. Geiger testified that the door sprang open, Merritt said. John lived on the 4th floor while Geiger lived directly below. She said she thought she was trying to get into her own apartment at the time. Upon entering, she believed she was confronting a burglar. Both she and her attorney said at the trial. Prosecutors said John was sitting on his couch with a t-shirt and shorts watching football and eating ice cream. During the trial, something like 70% of the people on the 3rd and 4th floor said they'd gone to the wrong floors before. Merritt also is appealing a federal court decision that removed the city of Dallas from a civil lawsuit filed by the family, so they're still trying to appeal that, but I doubt that's going to go through. John's family argued that his death was a result of a pattern of excessive force by Dallas police and that better training could have prevented his death. U.S. District Judge Barbara Lynn disagreed, saying the suit failed to prove the city's liability. See, then that's what they get again. If they were not trying to be all this hug and I forgive, I want to be her best friend and I wish her the best and I wish she wouldn't go to jail. They took all that into consideration and they still don't believe they played a part in her not getting a longer sentence and the fact that the city of Dallas could not be taking the trial for that civil suit. They still don't believe that. They better wake the hell up. When a police officer observes a crime, when she responds to it, she goes back on duty. He said they're considered to be back on duty. Geiger's own statements reinforced that idea. She came to her door. She heard rumbling inside and she believed she was being burglarized. She started offering verbal commands. Clearly now she's operating as a police officer. In fact, she used the words, "My training kicked in." Listen, they can say all that stuff they want, but at the end of the day, they gonna look. They're laughing at this family. The world is laughing at this family. We are laughing at them. We have now seen them for who they are, and that's nothing but a bunch of money grubbing clowns. And see, we was on their side throughout this entire case. And mind you, Botham Jean is not what you would consider he's not American born, but the fact of the matter is we saw an injustice happen and because we know what that's like, but they got up there and they tap danced their ass off. The entire family. Now, I don't know what the status is with the sister, but we saw what the mother did and we definitely saw what the brother did and the dad did. And then you had people, I remember I posted something on Facebook and people were trying to tell me, well, you can't get mad at the family for feeling how they feel and all that type of stuff like that. I was like, okay. And that's exactly why they're in the position that they are now. I didn't come back and write something up there on my Facebook page like that because I didn't want another uproar. That's why I barely post stuff like this onto my Facebook page, because I know what type of people are on there. That's why when I write stuff like this, I put it on Twitter because I know how far it'll go. But it is what it is. They can have fun trying to get as much money as they possibly can and try to squeeze the city of Dallas for whatever they can. I doubt they're going to get much out of that squeezing. But they bought it on themselves. It is what it is. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure to follow me on Twitter if you haven't done so already. Have your notifications turned on, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Okay, so I thought I was done talking about the John family and all their shenanigans and attention seeking and them trying to secure that duffel bag, but apparently I was not. So shout out to my sasser, because she sent me this DM on Twitter that led me to a link where you see this image right here that came on from YouTube that has from what I saw, it only had like 11 likes and like 6 dislikes, but I have a feeling it's going to increase, where you have Botham Jean's dad and his mother somehow slithered their way like a serpent into getting included into a Super Bowl spot for talking about police brutality and everything like that. I keep telling y'all, this family is doing whatever it is that they can to get and secure that bag. They do not care about their son at all. And this commercial probably won't even air after the Super Bowl. But as long as they can get it in on the day of the Super Bowl, where they know millions of eyes from around the world are watching, where people can see them, that's what they will do. I'm just saying, this family is out for themselves and only themselves.